on the small repairs. I noticed this morning that the gate to my garden has been sticking for weeks. Not broken, mind you, just slightly off its hinge, requiring a firm shove to open and a rattle to close. I have walked past it dozens of times, each time thinking I should fix it, each time deciding it could wait. It occurs to me that I treat many things in my life the way I treat that gate. You do this too, I suspect. We all do. There is some conversation you have been meaning to have, some habit you have been meaning to mend, some corner of your inner life that has grown cluttered and dim. Nothing dramatic, nothing that demands immediate rescue, just a slow accumulation of small neglects, each one perfectly reasonable on its own, but together forming a weight you carry without quite noticing. Until one morning you wake and the gate will not open at all. Here is what I find both funny and tender about us. We wait for grand occasions to repair ourselves. We believe that change must arrive as a thunderclap, a revelation, a turning point worthy of a story. And so we let the loose thread dangle, because surely it is too small a thing to bother with today. Meanwhile, the garment slowly unravels. The great secret of a well-kept life is this: it is maintained, not achieved. A garden does not bloom once and remain forever beautiful. It asks for your hands in the dirt, your attention on what is wilting, your willingness to pull what no longer belongs. This is not glamorous work, but I tell you with full confidence, it is the most important work there is. Consider how a house endures, not through one magnificent act of construction, but through 1,000 quiet acts of care. A crack sealed before the rain enters, a beam reinforced before it bows, a window cleaned so the light may pour in fully. The people who live well, who reach the end of their years with peace in their eyes, are not the ones who built the grandest houses. They are the ones who tended what they had. They noticed the crack early. They did not wait for the wall to fall. I want to speak plainly to you about something. There is a particular kind of courage in admitting that something small needs your attention. It is far easier to plan the magnificent journey than to apologize for the careless word you said last week. It is far easier to dream of becoming an entirely new person than to simply be kinder at breakfast. We are drawn to the large and the dramatic because it flatters us. Fixing a squeaky hinge does not make for a great tale, but living in a house where every hinge works, where the doors open smoothly and the windows let in the full morning light, that is something. That is a life that functions as it was meant to. And here is the part that fills me with warmth when I think of it. These small repairs are available to you right now. Not tomorrow, not when circumstances improve, not after some great awakening. This very afternoon you could write the letter you have been postponing. You could sit with the friend you have been avoiding because the conversation will be uncomfortable. You could put down the thing that numbs you and pick up the thing that nourishes you, even for 20 minutes. You could forgive yourself for something you have been holding far too long, turning it over in the light and seeing at last that it was never as heavy as you believed. Do you see how generous this is? The repair does not demand perfection. It only asks that you begin. I think of a river I once watched for a long afternoon. It had been diverted by fallen stones, pushed into a narrow channel where it churned and frothed against itself. Somewhere upstream, a few of those stones shifted, perhaps loosened by the rain, perhaps nudged by some passing creature, and the river found its way again. Not all at once, slowly, widening, settling back into its natural course. The water did not need to become different water. It only needed the obstruction gently moved. You are like this, more often than you know. You are not broken in some fundamental way that requires rebuilding from the foundation. You are simply obstructed. A stone here, a stone there. Resentment you forgot to release. A fear you stopped questioning. A story about yourself that was never quite true but became familiar enough to feel like fact. Move the stone. The river already knows where to go. There is something else I wish to say, and I say it with a smile, because it used to frustrate me, and now it delights me. You will never finish repairing. This is not a failure. This is the very nature of being alive. The bread you bake today will be eaten by tomorrow. The floor you sweep will gather dust again by evening. The conversation you finally have will need to be had again in a different form, because people grow and shift and forget and remember. If you are waiting to reach a state where nothing needs mending, you are waiting for a life that does not exist and missing the one that does. The mending is the life. The tending is the love. The fact that your garden needs you again this morning is not a burden. It is proof that something is still growing. I have watched people spend years planning the life they wish to live, while the life they are living falls into gentle disrepair around them. The friendship they meant to nurture grows distant. The body they meant to care for grows stiff. The mind they meant to cultivate fills with noise they chose because silence felt too confronting. And all the while, the repairs were small. A walk taken, a letter written, an honest word offered, an hour of quiet, a hand extended when it would have been easier to keep it in your pocket. These are not the materials of legend, but they are the materials of a good life. And a good life, I promise you, is always enough. So here is my gentle challenge to you, dear friend. Today, before the sun sets, find one small thing that needs your care and give it your full attention. Not the largest thing, not the most impressive thing, the thing you have been stepping around, the gate that sticks, the word left unsaid, the promise to yourself you keep quietly deferring. Mend it, tend it. And notice how, when you do, something in you exhales. Something remembers that you are a person who takes care of what they have been given. Because you are. You have always been. You simply forgot for a while, the way we all forget, distracted as we are by the grand and the urgent. The small repair is waiting for you. It has been remarkably patient. Now be kind to it in return.